Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today, this is a special Friday feature or international break feature. We've been planning this for a while, just for logistics and scheduling, and also time of doing it. Originally, we planned to do just like a pre-recording, but I kind of figured we want to do it live just so we can get some feedback while we're actually talking about this. So, again, you guys love him. We love him. He is one of our most avid post-match call-in guys. Misak, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing very well, boys. How are you guys doing?
We're good. I'm happy. Albania qualified for the Euros like 15 minutes ago, so I am elated.
Great team. I hope
Awesome,
you guys
awesome.
succeed.
And we are going to try to wrap this up before Italy attempts to beat Macedonia for I don't know how many times now. This is at least the third time they're going to
Third
attempt
time.
to, third time trying to go
Third
for a
time's a
win.
charm.
So let's see what happens. But until then, we do have a special here for you today. We're going to get into some numbers, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the big questions, and before I turn it over to him, so a lot of things have been going on Twitter or X, or formerly known as Twitter, but X. Where has Juve improved from the statistical approach, and as far as the team, has Allegri really changed this team for the better? Has he changed it for the worse? Is the Juventus standards absolutely atrocious, as a lot of pundits and folks are claiming? We're going to break this down. Misak is the numbers guy. I am kind of a numbers guy to an extent, but not as well versed as Misak. So I'm going to turn over the microphone to Misak, and I'm essentially just going to be the driver of the stats because we pulled up a lot of numbers.
Exactly. Now, our first question for you, boys. In your opinion, without even looking at the data, let's say, what's your opinion about us this year?
Defensively, very, very solid. Midfield, it could be better, but as far as chances created, the opportunities are there. I think when you're looking at it from an expected goals perspective, it's there. But one of the biggest stats that I pulled up in the post-match call in that, or the post-match show that I did last Saturday, if you look at Juve in the last 7 matches, not a single striker has scored a goal in the last 7 games, which to me is absolutely atrocious. So we have all the things there. I think we just need better finishing up top.
Okay. Your opinion, Dave?
Yeah, we joked about this earlier in the week. If this was FIFA and you're looking at how many stars each defense, mid, and forwards get, it's like 5 defense, 1 for mid, 1 for offense, and like 3.5 for goalkeeper, right? And that kind
Yeah.
of says it all. Is the offense bad because our midfield is bad? I think partially, but I mean we've seen the guys miss absolute sitters, so a lot of the blame still goes on the attack as well.
Okay, you're correct. Like both of you are very correct in saying in that assessment, and the data shows that. What has happened this year, and the numbers actually show it, that it more than Allegri just putting a handbrake, he actually organized the team structure, the rest defense of the team. So the quality of shots opponents are having this season is very, very, very much worse than what they were having in the prior 5 seasons compared to Allegri 2.0, Allegri even last year 1.0, and even if we go to Pirlo and Sari, where they were generating a higher XG than we do right now, they were generating a 1.96, 1.6, around that XG, like more than 1.5 a goal a game. So they were expecting 2 goals at least a game, but they were also generating a high XG against. Now, this year, what we have done, we are statistically the best defense in Europe. And when you go to statistics, the numbers don't lie. At the end of the day, it is objective fact. It's accumulated by a machine. What happens is that we are blocking any passing lane to the opponents very well. We are pressing the opponents whenever they're around our 30-yard range. That is mostly significant, as you see. Our midfield's whole thing is they don't press high anymore. As we started the season in the first 5 matches where we were pressing high, they're not pressing high anymore. They have a low press trigger. So whenever somebody comes close to the 30-yard range, as I said, they start pressing, they start pushing the ball back. And then when they do that, they try to attack the ball, attack the fullbacks or the defender, try to take the ball at that situation and start a counter attack. Now, as Dash said, our main problem isn't chance creation. Honestly, it's not. It's not even close. Our main problem is finishing. As we can see, we will see throughout our data and analysis that Juventus at the moment is by far the worst team in missing big chances. We are open up. If you open up FATMAP, for example, they will show you the statistics of the big chances missed. If big chance created, we are 24, third in the league, which is great. Inter, the best attack, is with 26. Okay, but you look at the big chances missed, it is 24 also. We take care of our half chances, but our clear chances we miss them for some ridiculous reason. And that's a qualitative issue. That's a basic qualitative issue of our forwards, our midfielders sometimes. The whole package, they cannot finish chances. And if they cannot finish chances, we will get into a point that we will draw a nil-nil draw just because our attack was insufficient. Now,
Yeah,
if we go back,
have you ever seen anything like that this late into the season? 12 games, like 24 for 24, like that.
no,
That seems like a very specific kind of stat.
exactly, it shows that our strikers are underperforming. They are underperforming individually. Say what you will about Chiesa, he's great, but he is an inconsistent finisher. His biggest goals, the most amount of goals accumulated in a league, is 8 goals in a season. He's already at 4. Okay, and Vlahovic has scored 20 in a span of 1 year in 2021, from the beginning to end, 40 goals. Other than that, he has never reached that tally. Also, has massive injury issues that is also affecting him, and also he isn't stepping up to the plate. Keane is improved in every facet except taking the major step at a big club, which is finishing your chances. Milik is almost inefficient unless he comes off the bench for the 20-30 minutes. Then he does something, either assists, either scores goals. He's great
And that's where
when
we
he's
want to
off the bench.
see him, preferably.
Yes, when he's off the bench, we took care of one aspect, which is off the guy out of the bench. Nice, but our problem is the starting strikers. They aren't good. Let's compare, for example, Federico Chiesa or Vlahovic to Lautaro Martinez. Their expected goals to the goals they scored. We know that Lautaro Martinez has been insane at the start of the season. We cannot lie, even though he's a rival. He has scored 12 goals out of an XG of a 7.1. All right, I know it by heart at this moment. But our striker, Dusan Vlahovic, has generated an XG of 4 and scored 4. Lautaro Martinez is overperforming by 5 goals. Our strikers aren't overperforming. They are average. They are average, and it shows that. But the most improvement we've had, and everybody was correct, is defensively. Now, if you look at data compared to last year's Juventus, we can see that we generated throughout the season an XG against per 90, which is the amount of goals conceded per 90 of 1.09. That means specifically that we at least by data had to concede a goal a game, which is 38 goals, and our chance creation was also low, which was 555.3, which means around 1.5 goal, like even less than 1.5 goal, to be honest, which means that we weren't generating enough chances. But if you go to this year, we're already at, if I'm not mistaken, 19.8. We're already at 1920. We are almost half of where we were last year in 12 games. Okay, there are 6 more games to be played to be at the half point. But in that 6 games, if you continue at this rate, we will exceed that. We will be massively exceeding that. Now, the point is that our team in the top 5 compared to what the narrative is one of the best teams this season. Not stylistically, objectively we are. Because if you go by data, we are the best defense in the whole of Europe. If you go by the XGA, we have generated 7.7 XGA, which is the best by Europe, followed by Inter and Bayern Munich, okay, with 8.3, 8.3. But Nice has overperformed us by conceding, if I'm not mistaken, 4 goals total. And we have conceded 7. They have overperformed by 5 goals, which is exceptional for them. They have a great coach, and it means they're lucky at the same time. They're lucky they're not conceding, which is good for them. But we are where we should be. We are organized. Allegri has organized the team in a way that we will not concede a goal. And everybody huffs and puffs. They can take pot shots and, Hail Marys. That's how they can try to score against us. Other than that, then nobody can score against us. Now, what the conflict about us, manager Juventinis, as we know, is about our offense. Is like why we're not more fluid, why we're not attacking more, why we aren't. And that narrative is completely false because we are attacking. Our XG is comparable to the best teams in the what's the name, to part of the best teams, like top 25 in Europe. Okay, we aren't poor. Like we are top 21.
There's this
21st.
unfortunate like psychological aspect though, that after 90 minutes when you don't have any goals, like you look at that game with Keane, who got 2 goals pulled back against him, right? And it just felt like it was completely
Miserable.
flat. Yeah, it felt miserable. But if he did get those 2 goals, if he was awarded them, then it would just be different. We would be feeling differently. It's like psychologically as this underlying feeling that like at the end of the day, when we see the points on the board, like the score line, like that's how we end up feeling.
Yeah, you're correct. And that is more about we're unlucky a bit in that aspect. Keane has been phenomenal, has scored 4 goals that were disallowed, I think. Has hit woodworks after woodworks. I remember against Empoli, we missed woodworks and stuff. No. The thing is, my point is maybe stylistically we are judging the team, and stylistically we cannot judge a team. That is a subjective thing. It's your eyes, it's your opinion. Doesn't matter when it comes to football. You have to look at objectives. And by objective data, we can follow the narrative. Can our chance creation improve? Yeah, but not that much. If we change our coach with this team, with Paul Pogba that was gonna be his season this year, and you know what happened? A Fagioli that was gonna take another step forward in his progression, and we see what happened. And now we're focusing on a very young Miretti, necessarily to take the step to benefit the team. We're in that situation right now. It's not because of planning, it's because of idiocy and irresponsibility by some of our players, our key players, let's be honest, because Fagioli was our key player last year. Nobody can disregard that fact. Pogba was supposed to be our key player last year, but he was not there. Fagioli took the step and he took it well, and then we're in this situation. But it's still, despite everything, our team generates chances. Our problem is we have generated 19.7 xg and scored 18 goals. That is our problem. Our problem is we're underperforming our xg. And a great team, an exceptional team, a winning team should never underperform their xg. That is for losers. That's my TED talk. And what's your opinion on it?
I mean, wow, the numbers. I love the visual, because I mean, if you just droned on about those numbers, I think a lot of us would have got our heads crunched up in a knot, right? So no, like excellently done to display that, because yes, we have to look at the quantitative data. Like I love your nomenclature as well, the qualitative versus quantitative, right? Like the eye test doesn't always match up with what the stats are essentially, right? But when we do look at the stats, we can make those correlations, and we can see, like at least in the attacking phase, that yes, I mean the eye test qualitatively and quantitatively, it affirms our suspicions, right? And I mean, when you lay it out like that, like what else is there to say? Like that's the truth.
Yeah,
That's the truth.
it's tough to debate it, right? I mean, we look at it. How many times have I said this season that Juve have had an expected goals of 2+? Like that
About
to me,
10 games.
yeah, about 10 or so games, which is we called every single Juventus game last season, even the stuff on Juve's Twitch. And you know how many times Dave and I could say that we saw unexpected goals greater than 1.5? I think what, 2 or 3 out of 38?
Yes, I mean,
It was
I think
really
maybe
rare.
10 out of 38. Let's be fair. 10 out of 38, we generated more than two. Usually we don't. We didn't. We didn't.
Yeah, so like we've practically nearly hit that metric within 12 games where we were last season.
Mhm.
And I think and the irony of it is, right? So let's use Hellas Verona. So we say all those chances in which ironically the VAR official said, yeah, we had the wrong camera angle for Keane, that goal should have stood. If those counted, that game's essentially 4 or 3-0, right? So
Yeah.
no one would sit there and say, oh, we were unaesthetically pleasing. I think the only game that we were, on purpose unaesthetically pleasing was Fiorentina. Like
Oh, yes.
that was a
That was the
shithouse
game
game.
plan.
Yeah, it was designed to be
Do,
shithouse ball, and
do
it
you
was
believe it was
shithouse
shit
ball.
house? Do you believe it was a shit house? That was that our plan was this, like, because let's be honest, if somebody watches Fiorentina, they are great in just circulating the ball, but they're awful in creating chances.
Yeah, they're terrible
They
in penetrating.
cross. They just cross and cross and cross and cross. Okay, that's what they do. So
Yeah, so let me define my terminology of shithouse because my shithouse might be different with someone else's shithouse.
mhm,
So, like for example, shithouse ball for me is like when you're able to sit back, absorb pressure, and then you just shithouse the other team with one chance, one opportunity, essentially. So that's pretty much what it is. It's by design, right? That game was 100% by design because the expected goals was 0.11, and it's like you don't even accidentally do that bad as an expected goals. Like you have to come in and scheme for something like that in a sense. It's not like, for example, oh yeah, we went and we played. It's just our offense is so bad and we just ended up. No. You don't end with a 0.11. You end with a 0.7 or a 0.8 like Fiorentina, where Fiorentina can't do anything with the ball in a game like that, where they're just kind of like cross it over here, throw it over here. Let me do this. Let me do this. No, that to me, I think that and probably the Milan game before the red card were games that we schemed to play very, very deep in.
yes, that before the red card, we almost
Before
forgot
the red
about
card.
that because that could have turned out completely different.
So the concerning issue, and I think a lot of people are overshadowing the fact because my argument that I want to tackle in this video, and I'm glad I have Misak with me here, is I keep seeing feed the offensive players the ball, feed the offensive players the ball. And it's like they're getting the ball. They just don't know what to do with it. Because again, if you are putting a 2.4 expected goal, the last game was a 2.4, and even though it's a tap in, like for example, if you're right in front of the line and the striker misses the ball, that's almost an expected one as your
yes,
expected goal.
0.99. There's the
Yeah,
one.
all 0.99. So the issue is like when we look at it objectively, when we look at the film, when we look at all this, and I hate when someone says the eye test is an argument. The eye test should never be your base argument. It is something that
Mhm.
supplements your statistical claim.
Subjectivity. It's
It
subjective.
is because, like for example, my eye test is this. Statistically, in the last 7 games, there hasn't been a single Juventus forward that's been on the goal sheet. It's been defenders. And you want to know a funny stat that not that many people know? Juve defenders have the most goals of defenders across all of Europe. Our
Yeah,
defenders
they
have
have.
scored the most goals compared to other defenders in Europe.
Like our
Mm,
defense is just so locked in, and it's
and they're locked in. They're doing their job. But I want to interrupt you on one thing about the Fiorentina match. Actually, we didn't generate 0.11. That's false. We generated 0.65. We created two big chances. If you remember, Vlahovic missing that chance, and we created two big chances, and we missed two big goals. They created zero big chances, and they missed zero because they didn't create anything.
You just
Point is,
absolutely destroyed my. I thought it was 0.11. Damn it! I read the
no,
wrong sheet.
no. That's the thing. That's some false narrative. They people think that we didn't create. No, whenever we counterattacked very well, but we missed the chances.
Well, that was the idea, right?
That is the underlying metric and the narrative we should focus on is why our forwards miss chances. That's the question I impose on everybody. Why does our because at the end of the day, if you have to spoon feed an 80 million striker 4 or 5 chances to score one goal, then that's not an 80 million striker. That's an average striker. That's not a great striker.
Yeah.
Yeah, great strikers, great world-class strikers make a half a chance into a goal, not 4 or 5 to a goal. Get
Mhm.
it? But the thing is that they think like, yeah, if you feed him well, he's gonna be. If like you spoon feed him goals, he'll get back and he will help you. No, he won't help you, because at the end of the day, if you're against tougher opposition, and he won't have that clear chance against big oppositions, how are you gonna win the game if you're 80 million striker and need to be spoon fed 4 or 5 goals to score one?
Yeah.
I mean, it helps. It helps day to day, but in the long term, if you're looking to win like the Champions League, get trebles, whatever, those guys aren't going to get you there.
So you want to know a
Oh,
player? You want to know a player who's overperforming his expected goals?
in our
Rom-
team?
no, another team in Serie A.
Okay.
Lukaku.
Romelu Lukaku.
Lukaku.
Yes.
I mean,
He's
how obvious do you want to
expected.
be, Dash?
He's expected goals of 4.2, and this is just Serie A. Expected goals of 4.2, and he is at 6. And if we're
Yeah.
counting his European matches, he's already at 9.
Yeah.
So Lukaku.
I
I'm
know
not
you
gonna
like
jump
rubbing
on
that one
your
into.
body.
I have to, because you think about it, what he said. You think about what Misaka's saying. Lukaku is creating half chances, and like we used to troll him for being an absolute bum, but like he's gone into this Roma team, and absolutely the only reason why they're competitive is because of him.
And they
Oh,
play
yeah.
that. I mean, it's Mourinho.
They play
It's
like
Mourinho ball.
they try to play like us, but we are more fluid than them.
Yes. Yeah.
We create more chances than them. We put the ball better than them, and still our strikers are underperforming.
Yeah,
I
Let's be
played
honest.
Roman in
Me,
FC 24 and I wanted to throw my controller. It was that frustrating. Just in
well,
the game.
Keane, I
because
love him, and
go
look,
ahead.
Keane, we love him. We support him on this channel very much because he has improved immensely. And as I said, to take that big step, he has to score goals
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yep.
He does.
Absolutely.
He does. Because I'll hold him accountable for this. That last match against Cagliari, like he had a couple of one-on-one opportunities, but that ball just left his foot way
Oh
too
yeah,
heavy of a touch.
that one time, the second time that he was 1v1 against the keeper, and I don't know why he didn't try to lob him or do something.
He turned
Shoot
back.
the goal.
Yeah.
He turned back.
He
Waited
plays like I
for
do.
it's
He played a defensive striker for that game just for Allegri. I
yeah,
had to put a joke there.
and it is it's funny. He's about to play left wing back for the Azzurri, but no, it, it's kind of going in there. Like I think if Juve are able to sort out and find something to get there, because like for example, even Chiesa missing a wide open shot that last match was
hmm
infuriating.
hmm
Offside or
hmm
not, you put it in the net. You need to
How
you
many
need to
times has Chiesa missed open chances until now?
plenty.
Up to you, yeah.
Plenty.
How many has Vlahovic? How many? Now, if you go by one
How
by
many
one,
how
you
many
can see
times has he how many times
our
has
strikers are
Vlahovic tripped over the
underperforming.
ball? That's
Oh, it's bad. Let's
it,
let's
No, it's
answer
not.
this question though. It's been up for a while because I want to start transitioning because
Mhm.
I'm
The game's
definitely
gonna
watching
start.
it. I'm
I put
definitely
Oh
gonna
yes.
watch
I
it.
put
15 minutes.
Macedonia won't score today. What do you guys think? I think they can't score. I mean, Pandev is gone. He's
I
not
don't
playing
think they
anymore.
will score, honestly.
I
Like the
think
worst that Italy will have is 0-0 because they miss chances.
that's that's pretty much
That's
what
it.
it's going to be, right? I think this is going to, in my opinion, I think this game's going to be very Italy-like, where they do something really stupid like that, where they
But
just are not able to convert because they have
Mhm.
Raspadori up front and they have Berardi up front.
this is
And
my
Chiesa.
concern
So
though.
they're gonna give the ball a lot to Chiesa and tell him to do something, and then he will cut in and try to curve, cut in and try to curve,
And
and
do the
then we
same
will see
thing.
So
either we're lucky or not.
I think when we're talking about Italy here, I think Italy need to be careful because you look at their midfield. They have Jorginho and Bonaventura as their starters.
The old guys.
They're not gonna press a lot.
No, they're not going
Barella's
to.
Barella will be the pressing machine. Now,
Yeah.
let's if we want, let's transition back to Juve and we finish up with my last question. How do you think are we gonna play? How do you think are we gonna do against Inter? How well are we gonna do against Inter?
So it's going to be. Go ahead, Dave. Go first.
No, it's a derby, so I have this feeling that it's just we're gonna see a different Juve for whatever reason.
I I
The
I,
gods have said so.
I disagree. So I disagree to an extent. I think Juve is going to start the match slow. I think Juve want to understand what, because here's the issue with Thuram and Lautaro is those guys are creating shots out of nothing, right? So even if you cut their supply lines off, they're just one lob ball away from really doing anything. And with how creative and how much of a Olympic swimmer Thuram is when it comes to being in the box, there's going to be it's a multifaceted problem, right? So I think if Juve sit back and play defense, I think Inter is going to try to take advantage of that by winning cheap penalties, right? Even though they're cheap, it's still in the rule book if you make contact or if you do something like that. But I think there's two keys to it, right? One is figure out how to cut essentially Lautaro out of the game, because the thing about Thuram and Lautaro is tandem, if they're syncing together quite well, you're going to lose.
Mm,
It's an honest truth. You're going to lose. However, if you're able to isolate them, and then the defenders that isolate them are able to win their one-on-one battles, you have a very good shot at holding them off. Because right now the issue is you stop the strikers, but the problem is the midfielders behind the strikers are able to take shots from distance and also create and move and facilitate the ball. So it's a multifaceted problem. If we're able to get to Inter's back line, I favor Juve if we're going up against Inter's back line, because that is in theory their weak spot. But the problem is you have to get through their top level first, their top two levels offensively. And right
mm.
now, my concern is I'm very concerned with how our midfield can handle Inter's midfield, especially if Locatelli's out and it's Rabiot, McKennie, and Hans. That's going to be
Yeah.
very, very concerning.
Even Miretti and Hans and McKennie to the right. My thing is Hans instead of Locatelli, because Locatelli has improved a lot in blocking the defense. Okay, in blocking the passing lane, pressing the opposition, taking the ball, and distribution is a work in it's a work in progress. We have seen how many years that it's still a work in progress. It's not at the level that it should be, but it's a work in progress. But he has improved a lot on his positioning, contrary to a lot of other people that say no, he's bad. No, no, no. He is helping a lot in our defensive phase, our defensive phase. We don't know how Hans is, because the only game I remember of Hans is against us versus Salernitana at Salernitana, where he was very bad. I remember that game. He was very, very bad. He gave us a penalty. He also coughed up the ball for the second goal, etc. So he was atrocious that game when he was pressed, and Inter is gonna press us. The
Yes.
thing is with the front two are that they're very, 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 very dynamic. The Inter strikers are very dynamic. They
Yep.
are good. Lautaro is good in the air. Thuram is good in the air. They're good on the feet, on their ball. They're technical. Lautaro can't beat 1v1, but he is great in dummies. He can dummy the pass, etc. Thuram is exceptional in 1v1s. He beats his man with pace, technically and physically. The three aspects how he can beat the man. He has three of them. What Thuram misses is a killer instinct, though, because if you look at his data, even he is underperforming his XG. He should
Yep.
have a 5 point something. He scored 4 goals only. He misses a lot of clear chances, which
But
is
that's
kind of
that's
bad.
where Lautaro essentially compensates for him, though.
Exactly. They are. That's why Lautaro is a killer in the box. But the thing is, Lautaro has not taken a giant step against us. Okay, I'm not gonna jinx us now,
I was
but
gonna say, easy
no, I'm
there.
not gonna jinx us now. Like, okay, I don't know. I'm putting it behind my back, but throughout now, I've never seen a game against us from Lautaro that's amazing. I've seen Barella being fantastic. I've seen Bastoni. I've seen everybody else except even Lukaku was bad against us always. But I'm just afraid that Lautaro takes that next step against us. That's my biggest fear.
They also, though, I do think Inter need to be a little bit more conservative, right? Because they did lose Bastoni, and we can rate them as we want. Me
They
personally, I
lost
was
Bastoni
never.
and Pavard. They
Yes.
lost two of their starting center backs. They're gonna have Darmian, Acerbi, De Vrij as their center back
Yep.
defense. That's an average age of 30 plus.
So if
So they have their own weaknesses. I think one of their big weaknesses as well that we can exploit is, especially with the likes of Barella on the field, is just the mentality. You just get in the head, you play the head games with them, and we've seen that before where they blow up, they start losing it, take silly challenges. I can
Mhm.
see Allegri, keeping the team very professional and just keeping them calm. Keane might be an outlier,
Yeah, and maybe he
Rabiot might
takes
get
his
a yellow
chance.
card, but
We have no problem with Rabiot taking yellow card because it
Yeah.
reset it, no. But the only thing is Kostic, because Kostic in the past two games against Inter was MVP, except the last one against in the Copa he was very bad. I remember he was very bad, but the other games in the league he was phenomenally great. We need him. We need him to be in his A game and create chances, because if he creates, because he has a bit of pace and we can exploit that with that back line.
Yeah,
We have Ealing Junior. We have Cambiaso. No, we have options everywhere except our middle, and that's the main issue we have in our team.
Yeah, and they have. I think you can argue Inter have the best midfield in the league.
Oh yes, they have. They have
So
definitely. They
yeah,
have.
that's. I mean, they're gonna have to exploit that. And if they don't, if we somehow compensate, then I mean, Inter could be in trouble as a result because their back
Yeah,
line is their weak point right now.
even though, but the thing is, their goalkeeper, if you look at data, is the most overperforming goalkeeper in the league. No, it's second most because the Gregorio of Monza is first. Second is Jan Sommer. He has prevented about 3 goals already in the season.
he's one of those interesting keepers, right? I mean, he to me is like I always have a goalkeeper like an Ochoa classification of a goalkeeper where they just like either it's right towards international breaks or they just magically start pulling form together. So like for example, I put Indrit Berisha as one of those Ochoa-esque goalkeepers. I even put Jan Sommer because like for example, a lot of people sleep on Jan Sommer until Switzerland plays. And then when Switzerland plays, everyone's like, holy hell, this guy's amazing. That's kind of how
yeah, you're right.
he's a streaker.
He was a reason. The reason that Bayern Munich took him was because he is always phenomenal against them. If you watch, he was with Borussia, the one of Zakaria before.
Yep.
Whenever you watch them against Bayern Munich, they always lose because Jan Sommer magically saves about 10 goals, and on the opposite end, Borussia scores 1 goal. So yeah, he is our the thing. He has cat-like reflexes. He's very very good.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say relating to us, our goalkeeper is at 0 of both a positive and negative. Like he he has saved a goal, 2 goals, but has already caused 2 goals. Get it? Like he has done 2 mistakes. We know which game. I don't want to give a flashback to that PTSD game. And he also saved us from 2 goals, so he's at 0. Other side, Jan Sommer is at the positive, so he's overperforming. So we have to be. The thing is, we have to test that keeper.
Yeah, and it's only a matter of time before they come back down to earth, right? Because it's like, for example, same thing with Ochoa, same thing with Berisha. They're good for moments and spurts, but they always come down, right? Where it's like Szczesny. With Szczesny, you'll have one howler every 38 games. Like for example, Szczesny, it's constant. But with like for example, I've seen Jan Sommer make some really bad yuck ups at the same time.
Oh yes.
So yeah, he's in Serie A. He's enjoying the high because Serie A is a lot more defensive than Germany. So there's a lot easier things that he needs to do, less pressure. I think where Jan Sommer makes mistakes is when Jan Sommer thinks in his head that he needs to do extra. That's where he starts making those mistakes. And I think Juve are well equipped to troll Inter in a sense with their players. Because like, for example, Sassuolo did it, right? Sassuolo trolled them that one game, and then no one else has been able to later. But now I think it's going to be one of those things where I think Juve need to get under their skin to throw them off rhythm.
I think our fans have to be on the A game, make it a hell for them, and then mentally we can crush them, honestly. But at the end of the day, our fans here also subscribe, join our call-in shows on Saturdays or whenever the match day is.
Yeah, he's doing the outro for us as well. He wants to get to the Italy Macedonia game, as do we, guys. We will continue this because I mean we have another week. We have Colin this Saturday. We're going to do a pregame as well, and what else pops up, we will be there. So stay tuned. We'll let you know. Dash, take us away.
Alrighty, guys. So tonight there is going to be pro clubs. So hop on the Discord if you want to contact and talk to me, Sock, myself, or Dave on the Discord. I believe. Do you have it up? Here we go. We'll throw it up here. We have the QR code here. The link is going to be in the description, guys. We have numerous channels that you can talk about stuff in the Discord. Misaka loves to answer to your guys' comments, as well as, like, for example, Colin, Frankie, and Bones and all them to organize the pro clubs roster. We do have one of the best pro clubs rosters in the world right now. So I would get on that. Dave's been grinding meticulously for the past week so he can finally finish a ball in the net. I'm just kidding. I love you, buddy. So again, if you want to contact us there, contact us on Discord. Just mind you, Dave and I do get busy sometimes and we forget to check our messages. We're old. Leave us alone, folks.
Boomer power.
Boomer power. Wallah, the power of the boomer. So, and then also, apparently, we got a guy that wants to be a thumbnail designer and editor. You know what? Message us on Discord.
Or
Join our Discord there.
Yeah, join Discord or find us Twitter, Instagram, any of that jazz. and
Yeah,
we'll
Turin Giants YT on Twitter. DM us there, and we'll continue that conversation.
Yeah. Either way.
But
All right.
on that note, guys, we have 3 minutes until kickoff. So thanks for tuning in for this Friday feature. And if you didn't catch us on the live, catch us on the replay. Thanks again. Just make sure, guys, like, subscribe. If you're new, subscribe to the video. KB says he's late, and I will respond back by saying, do better, KB. I expected more from you. But remember, guys, stay hydrated. Check on your friends in Forza Juve.
Forza Juve.
Forza Juve.
Where's